Fix your entire life in just 7 days. I know. It sounds like one of those over-the-top promises you'd see in a late-night infomercial, right? But what if there's actually something to it? Let's break it down and see if this crazy claim really holds water. So let's just get right to it. The elephant in the room. Can you really turn everything around in just 1 week? And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, no way, my life's way too messy for that, I totally get it. That's a completely fair reaction.
But here's the secret sauce, the big twist. It's all about, a pretty radical shift in how you look at things. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, you take all that energy, all that focus, and you pour it into just one single thing.
And this is exactly why we get so stuck, right? We burn all this energy trying to fix stuff we have absolutely zero control over. I mean, think about it. Trying to change what other people think or do, it's a losing battle. The real power move is to flip that focus back on the one thing you do control, you. Okay, so if we're going to focus on one thing, how in the world do we pick it? That's what this first section is all about. We're going to find your quote-unquote impossible dream.
To find this dream, we're going to do a little thought experiment. It's pretty powerful. Just listen to this. Pretend for a moment that I have given you a superpower. You're guaranteed to not fail. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. If you could not fail, what would you do?
All right, let's walk through this so-called superpower test together. First step, just imagine. No limits, failure is not an option. What does your perfect life look like? What's the one thing you accomplish? Get really specific here. Is it becoming rich, landing that dream job, mastering a new skill? Okay, got it? Now for the twist. Imagine that superpower is just gone. Poof. All of a sudden, that dream feels a little crazy, right? Maybe even impossible. That feeling, right there, that's the signal. That's your one thing. That's the mission. All right, so you've found it. You have your impossible dream locked in. So what's next? I mean, how do we actually start chipping away at it? Well, that leads us right into our next section, the daily action plan. The rule here is so simple, but don't let that fool you. It's incredibly powerful. For 7 days straight, every single day, the very first thing you do when you wake up is work on that one thing. That's it. Before you check your phone, before you make coffee, before anything. It has to be your number one priority. And this really gets to the heart of why this works. You see, on one hand, you've got multitasking. We all do it and we think we're being productive, but really, it's just spreading our energy so thin that we never make real progress on anything important. But on the other hand, you've got this focused action. This is like a laser beam. It's what builds expertise fast and creates this incredible momentum that's pretty much unstoppable. Okay, now a heads up. This week is going to be a bit of an emotional roller coaster. The first 3 days or so, that's the honeymoon phase. You're going to feel amazing, like you're on top of the world. But then comes the real test. Days 4, 5, and 6. This is where it gets tough. The novelty wears off, and that little voice in your head telling you to quit gets really loud. This is the moment that matters, because if you can just push through to day 7, you haven't just made some progress, you've actually started to build a brand new habit. And that's the real magic here. See, this whole 7-day thing, it's not really about the task itself. It's about something way bigger, way more profound. Which brings us to the ultimate goal of all this, forging unstoppable belief. So, why 7 days? What's so special about that number? Well, it's kind of the sweet spot, It's long enough to feel like a real accomplishment, to be a genuine challenge, but it's short enough that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And in those 7 days, you prove something to yourself, something huge. You prove that you can actually do anything you decide to do. And the benefits? Oh man, they go so far beyond just checking a box on your to-do list. Yeah, you'll make massive progress on your goal, but you're also building some serious self-discipline. You're creating this rock-solid, unshakable belief in yourself. You're literally showing yourself with your own actions that the thing you thought was impossible, it's not. There's a perfect way to put this, and it's right here. You start to become one of those people who believes that they can do anything, and that power of belief is more important than anything else. That right there is the real win. That change inside you is the ultimate prize. This whole approach, this entire system, it's all built on one foundational idea, a really simple but life-changing philosophy. So for our last section, let's talk about the power of action. What we're talking about is living an action-based life. And what does that mean? It means you stop getting lost in your own head. You focus on what you can do, not just what you think or what you dream about. Because at the end of the day, thinking and planning are great, but they don't change a thing. Action is the only thing that creates real change in your life.
There's a great little story about this. Think about Tom Cruise, right? Doing all his own crazy stunts. Someone asked him how he deals with the fear of, jumping off a building or hanging off a plane. His answer was basically, he doesn't. He doesn't sit around thinking about the fear. He just acts. And that really brings us home to the main takeaway, and it's summed up perfectly by this quote. Thinking is the mind killer sometimes. It's action, my friends, that leads to results. You can overthink things into oblivion, but the only way to get results, to get momentum, is to just do something.
So, that leads us to the final and honestly, the most important question of all. Your 7 days, they start right now. What is your one thing?